Good morning everyone and welcome to FAQ58! This is as close as I've ever been to the camera in an FAQ, I guess. This FAQ is going to be a very special one. A couple of months back I had one of my followers, whose name is Martin Gemme, from Montreal, Canada, writing me saying that he was coming to Stockholm in September and wondered if he could have his own Q&A session with me. And you know, I get a lot of requests by email from people asking if I can meet up or hang, and even if I wanted to meet with everyone, it has become an impossible task. It's better to just meet me at a show or at a clinic or whatever. Anyway, Martin, I do know, has been a huge follower for a lot of years, supporting and buying all my albums, and I've been in contact with him countless of times, so I said yes to do a meetup if I could film the moment. I thought it might be interesting and different to have a fan asking the questions without me being prepared. And also Martin would make sure that he would only ask me questions that has not been asked before in any of my FAQ videos. And when we were done with the session, he showed me a spreadsheet with all the questions that have been asked in my FAQ videos with comments and so on. It was impressive. It was so extensive and to point, and it really showed how much time and effort Martin put into this prior to our meeting, which is something I really appreciate. So we decided to meet up at the Starbucks in Stockholm, and this is what happened. So right now I'm at Starbucks together with Martin Gemme, who's a long-time fan. From when? When did you buy the first Fear album? Like
2013, 2012.
2012, something like that. So he's been following me for a very long time. And he's from, where are you from?
Canada.
He's
Montreal.
from Montreal, Canada. He's traveling through Europe. He reached out and asked if we wanted to meet up and just have a coffee at Starbucks. And he brought his very nice Fear t-shirt. And
Fearband.com, please.
Please support, buy merch. And a bunch of CDs that I'm going to sign. Martin is a little bit nervous, but it's fine. It's fine because we're just here hanging. You know, I'm just a regular dude, just like everyone else. I'm just here signing shit. So, what do you think about the weather in Stockholm right now?
Well, right now
sucks.
Sucks.
Go ahead if you have any questions.
So, what did you say? Did you learn anything from The Haunted and 6 Feet Under and vice versa? Like, how did you?
Well, when I first joined 6 Feet Under, you know, I didn't really have the touring experience, or you know, I've been playing live, but in Stockholm, and like the venues here, and you know, Sweden, not really outside Sweden. So with 6 Feet Under, I kind of finally got to go out and go on tour. I was lucky in that sense that I got to go on bus tours direct, you know, like really posh, and I didn't have to do van tours in the US and all that. So I was just lucky to just getting to that point right away. I know a lot of other bands are grinding, you know, on the road with vans and stuff like that. So, and just playing festivals in general and just playing in front of 50,000 people was a very big step for me. But music-wise, I was still just doing my thing. I mean, with 6 Feet Under, I just wrote the riffs like I would normally would. I did not cater to making them sound like 6 Feet Under. It's more like I want to bring in my flavor into the band. Okay. Same thing with The Haunted. Obviously, I wrote songs as a fan, you know, and kind of like in the vibe of The Haunted, but it's not that far off from what I've been writing already. And now with this album, for instance, there's just a lot more of me, and I think it fits well with the band. So.
How do you see your music back when you started, and when you hear it now? Is it more? Is it still work when you listen today? Because like we often see YouTubers that looks back at their whole old material and they just like cringe or oh well, what is that? How do you see old music?
I can definitely cringe when I listen to old stuff, but it's I don't really listen that much to my old albums because it's a thing in the past in a way. You know, if I sometimes for a demo I bring out songs from an old album and you know re-record it for a purpose of a demo for like an amp or whatever, and I just make it new because I don't like listening to the old stuff. It's always like when I release an album, even if I like the mix when I release the album.
Yeah.
2 weeks after, I hate the mix.
Okay.
So it's like,
You're done,
so it's like, I'm done with this. So it's not, you know, I'm proud about my back catalog, but I'm always like trying to push forward. I'm never really happy with where I am.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to push for every album. So, yeah.
So this is what motivates you to move forward, is to actually...
Yes,
okay.
yes. With every album, I'm not really happy. You say that. I just have to release it. It's what it is.
Would you say your music has evolved, and how did the gear improve your workflow overall?
I think that the older you get, the less pressure you have to write something impressive. I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like when I was younger, it's like, okay, I have to write this really technical, super advanced riff. Now it's like going back, okay, I have to write this really simple but memorable riff, rather than, you know, just going for the super technical stuff or the super that you know, that impresses. Okay, I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore in that sense. I think that's the thing when you're younger. It's like you just want people to hey, see me, hear me, you know. And now it's like I'm starting to make music more for myself now. I've been doing that for a while, but more and more so when I get older, I'm just trying to write music that I enjoy.
What is your current favorite emulation software? And we just saw, like, yesterday, your AMT emulation.
Yes, my favorite plugin right now. If you go to plugins, we can split up the question. Plugins. The FORTIN nameless suite right now is as close as it gets to a real amplifier. I love that plugin, and so that's the best one right now. And pedal form wise, like the big modelers like Helix and Fractal and Kemper and all that, I still think that Fractal products sound the best. However, I think all of them sound good. It's just a matter of how you get there. I'm using my Axe 8 pedal a lot for you know, the haunted gigs and for clinics and stuff like that. So,
what were your goals 10 years ago, and do you think you achieved them?
I think in some sense, I think I've achieved them, but they're not necessarily the same goals.
Okay.
They kind of shifted in a way. I think 10 years back, I didn't really have my YouTube channel going. So at that time, I was probably just...
you aspired to be a higher accountant?
Probably, or just, you know, aspire to be something else.
So
I always wanted to do something myself. You know, my own company and all that. Now I have Solar Guitars and I have the YouTube thing and all that. So in that sense, I think I achieved what I wanted, which is be self-sustainable and you know, be my own boss, which I think is very important for me because I don't like working with others. So for me, it's very important to be my own boss, and so in that sense, I think that I've achieved the goals. But I mean, that's not the end. I want to go even further. So,
what are your top 5 currently artist albums? Because all the questions are always about your best ever, but right now.
Right now,
yeah.
My favorites right now, I think, because I don't really listen to that much new music, but I think right now Lepers is a very good choice. They're playing on Friday, by the way.
Oh,
are you still here?
Yeah. So
me and my wife are going.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going, have you heard them?
Well, it's a black metal band?
No, that's what you think. Lepers sounds like a black metal band, but it's like a progressive. It's not really metal. It's a rock progressive kind of thing. It's really cool. You should check it out. Just kind of check it out, and we'll see you at the show on Friday. Nice. But Lepers is one of my, like, the current artists that I listen to a lot. Other than that, you know, I'm kind of stuck in old things. And Deicide's new album I really like and listen to a lot too. So, like, Deicide is one of those bands that they just do their thing, and it always works really well. It's like Cannibal Corpse. They just continue to do the same thing, and it's like, do not ever change. And what else? That was 2 bands. Obviously, Pantera is always spinning in my head, and I don't know. I feel a little ashamed that I can't really say that many more bands right now. It's that's just how it is. Sorry.
Would you do a black metal album for Field? Like more act on maybe darker themes, or you think the current vibe is?
I think the current vibe is good. I mean, I'm not really into black metal, but you know, there are elements of black metal that I really like you know, regular blast beats. I mean, it's related. For me, the biggest difference is, you know, against. That's Death and Black for me.
Yeah.
So in that sense, sure. Maybe. Why not? You know, it depends on what I'm into at the moment, and like where I want to bring fear. I have no idea.
What would you say about bands that tries very different styles? Like, would you make another band if you wanted to do a different type of genre? Like,
the thought has crossed my mind, and I have not really talked them a lot about this, but I am working on a solo album.
Okay.
Like a old Englund album, and it's very diverse.
Yeah.
It goes from death metal to pop basically, and almost jazz at sometimes. So for Ola Englund, the solo album artist, I don't care. I can just do whatever I want, which I think is cool. If I want to make like my idea of another band, the only band that I would make would probably be like more of a grungy kind of, maybe Alice in Chains. I have no idea. It's like that would be the closest, or the closest to me that I would want to make. Okay. Outside what I have with Feared and The Haunted and Ola Englund, the sole artist. Yeah. So there you go.
But just like the singer of Behemoth, the singer of Behemoth, yes, that did like a whole country thing.
Yes.
And in an interview he talked about like how much different it is from metal, and that inspired me to inspired him to do more music. And
yeah, I mean it all comes down to what he wants to do as a person. I think that kind of probably came along when he got older.
Yeah.
Like he felt like, okay, I want to do something different. That's fine.
But when he came back, he had so
like
much
a midlife crisis right there. You write your country album. Maybe I'll go there in 2 years.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice.
But yeah, it's sure. I'm open to that. I mean, it makes me respect him a lot more when he does something like that than just being very narrow in his music. So kudos to him.
Nice. Are you able to say that? No.
Gent.
Because back then you were sure.
I'm restraining to use the word gent, but you know, it's just become a funny thing now. So it's like I just go with the flow. I could say gent all day. Gent.
Do you buy albums, vinyl, cassettes, everything?
No.
Nowadays,
no. I do not do. You know, I like the vinyl format. Love the covers. I just don't have anywhere to place them. Yeah. And it's like, it's just with CDs. I have nowhere to place them. I live in an apartment that's kind of small. It's like there's amps everywhere, there's guitars everywhere. I don't have the place at the time for vinyls, and so in that sense, I'm kind of, even if I am, you know, a CD collector, I've taken in this whole streaming thing very much. It's very convenient for me to have everything streaming. So I really adapted to this whole era of the music industry, I would say. But I would love to be a vinyl collector, but at this point, it feels like I'm a little too late.
But
maybe in 2 years, when I'm in my midlife crisis, if I'm not really there already, I don't know. We'll just see.
Do you think ending of songs are difficult to compose? Like ending and start?
Endings. Yes.
Yeah.
Because in my sense, I always look at the starter song as the main song, and then the ending has to be better than the rest. That's like my... Because you want to have, you're listening to the song, like, yeah, this is a good song, and then the ending comes and it's like, oh shit, okay. I didn't think it could be any better, but it did become better. So for me, the ending is very important. Like after, like the second chorus, it's very important that the song kind of evolves into something else. So that's something I take a lot of detail in when I'm writing songs. It's definitely like the solo section and the ending. And I like doing that kind of like where it's totally going somewhere else in music-wise, where you don't not really expect it to happen. That's a good ending for me, I think.
Do you think like it needs to blend from one song to another when you make an album?
I don't think that the songs have to blend into each other, but I think the flow of the album is very important. And I can sit probably for 2 weeks just arranging the songs in a track list just to get the correct flow. To have this journey type of feeling when you listen on an album from front to back. And I hope I'm good at it. I have no idea. I think I have a good idea of what I want to portray to the listener, but it's not easy. That's probably the hardest part. And even like if you have a song that does not fit in, which is good, it's a good song, but it does just not fit into the album.
Yeah.
You have to kind of remove that, even if you like it so much. It's not easy.
How did you transition to being more focused on demoing to being more open, discuss with the audience, and like, was it like a day you set up and you thought about it?
Yes.
Or it was
I think that I started a little to talk in the demos, and I felt awkward. And the more I kind of talked, the more I saw that people actually enjoyed me talking. Because at first I was like, I don't want to talk in the videos. I just want to demo and let the amp do the talking, or the piece of gear do the talking. But I noticed the more and more I kind of put myself out there, the more of a great audience response I got. So eventually I was confident enough to show myself, which is a very big step.
Okay.
And you can even see it in like my first FAQ videos. It's like I'm very, it's awkward.
Yeah.
Because I still hadn't got into being confident in front of a camera. It's very like I have a problem with self-doubt that a lot of people have. But the more I did it, the more loose I became, and the more I talk to people when I go out, like talking to you right now, and talking at clinics, and the more open I get, and there's less of a wall for me to go through, if you would say that. So
so it wasn't just drastic.
It was a transition that was going on for a long time, and it's probably is still kind of happening. Yeah. So there's still a lot to open up with.
Do you think by touring with At the Gates you accomplish a dream, and with which bands would you like to tour next? Like,
I think that it's hard to say with At the Gates, because At the Gates are my friends, and the same thing like touring with Meshuggah. They're great and big bands, but they're my friends. Yeah. So it's hard for me to watch that, and I think Arch Enemy was one of the bands that are like, okay, it's a good support act.
Good support, yeah.
And I think that I would love to be a supporting band for Metallica, I would say.
Metallica, yeah.
Trivium would be cool. I never met the guys, and I know they're Haunted fans. There you go. But Metallica would be a great Slayer. Yeah. We open up for Slayer on a show. That's a big moment for me. And Pantera would have been awesome, but that's not going to happen.
Current touring gear, except the X8.
Yes. So I try to be as lean as possible and try to make my rig as small as possible. I have clinic tours coming up in Moscow in China next week. That's why I went to the embassy, by the way. And I'm actually currently, yesterday, starting to experiment with the thought of only using plugins.
Oh. So
just bring my computer and a small audio interface.
Okay.
Just have the music in a Logic session together with a plugin, me playing.
Yeah.
And it's actually working really well.
Oh, really?
So I can have, a stereo out with everything to a mixing board.
Okay.
And it's already mixed. So that's something I'm going to make a video for, because it's really interesting seeing how we're at that point where we can do that switch. I would probably not do that with the Haunted, because it's unreliable. I have no idea if I can trust the computer. That's going to be the test in Moscow and China. But I think that with the Haunted, I think going plugins is the future.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit dangerous.
It's convenient, and also when you travel, it's so
it's
much better.
I still bring my computer. I might as well just bring the small audio interface, and I'm done. That's it. So I just bring my guitars and that. So with the Haunted, I just use the Axe-8 into the effects return of a backline amplifier wherever I go. So there's always a 5150 or a rectifier wherever we go. That's a backline. I can always hook into the effects loop, and I have a good sound, because the preamp is what makes the sound, and that's the Axe-8. So I always have the same preamp sound, a clean sound, and all that, and I just bring that to a show.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it. But with the Haunted, I always use like 4x12s and mic up and all that. So I never go direct. I like having the movement behind me and all that. So it's very important for me for a live situation.
How was your opinion change about emulated amplifiers like Guitar Rig and FORTIN and everything?
I think that up until the FORTIN plugin, I was pretty decided that the real thing will always be better. But with the FORTIN plugin, it's so close. Like it's still not exactly the same, but would it matter in live? Like, or in a clinic, would it matter? Like, does it make sense to bring like a shit ton of gear?
Yeah.
Or does it make sense to bring a small audio interface? And it's like it's weird to me to say that, because I'm all about amplifiers. I love amplifiers, and but I'm also very interested in new technology, and I think that just trying, like I've been trying a lot of new plugins right now. I think the plugin market has really like gone from here to here in like half a year. So now what needs to catch up is the latency issue with computers and audio interface. It's almost there. But right now with my experiments at home, it's as close as can be, and it's playable.
It's playable.
It's playable. So that's good. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to be out there in 5, even like 1 or 2 years. It's going to happen fast.
And you would foot switch and everything.
Exactly. No, the thing is like with the since I have a Logic project, I can make all the automations to change sounds and all. I don't have to have a foot switch anymore. I can switch the lead sound in the project.
Nice.
It's so convenient. It's like I don't need anything anymore. I just need my guitar, and I use a wireless, stupid, you know, receiver and transmitter. I don't even have a cable. It's insane.
It's getting there.
We're getting there. It's amazing how the technology is evolving. It's amazing. Shit.
But you argued against making albums at first, at least. So maybe release album physically, you wouldn't be for it. But what do you think about Bandcamp compared to Spotify?
Bandcamp is just another source of music. I know a lot of people use it, but I think that more people use Apple Music and Spotify, and I think that's important. And so I wouldn't mind having my music on Bandcamp, but then again, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, or like it's just not a platform that I ever used in that sense. And I like the other platforms. I get my music out there. I have YouTube, I have Apple, and all the streaming services. If people want physical media, they go to the fearband.com website and buy a merch or T-shirt. No, but so I think that Bandcamp is just another way for it's just another way of distributing yourself that I'm not a part of. It's good, but it's not something I need, I think.
Yeah, for me it's always the sense of ownership to have the album and to have it in my hands.
Gotcha.
Always like that.
Gotcha. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll have to do that with the next one, or the solo album. I have no idea. I'm not even sure that the soul of selling music is the right way to distribute music anymore. I have to give that a big, long thinking. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Have you ever checked your Wikipedia, and is it true?
Long time ago, I checked it out, and it was mostly true. But then again, people can go in and edit. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's up to date or anything like that. So I guess we have to check that, because people can go in there and just write lies, I guess, which is a problem.
But that's true. One of my favorite questions. Did you ever review a product that you found awesome in a video, but never really used it in production? Like you really like the pedal, you wish you would use it.
Yes, I think like the mower radar is a really good product. That's perfect. Like it's small. It's perfect, basically. And I know the guys in At the Gates use it for bass, and I think Jonas is gonna use it for the Haunted 2, because it's just convenient. He just uses rat distortion and some little pedal into that radar and into the front of house. You don't have to have a big stack, And like, I wish I had applications where I needed one, but I have the Axe 8, I have, so it's like, that's just a really good product that I'm like, you did it good. You did it really good. Mower is really doing a great job making products for the modern musician. So there you go. It's a good brand, Mower. Check it out. I'm not sponsored, by the way.
I'm not sponsored, but
I just like their products.
So without going into like the deep secrets, but how did you approach marketing your new solar brand? In 20, you said you didn't mention much about your new brand, saying that very soon you'll get more info, but like
I think that the approach that I wanted when I launched the brand was that I didn't want to talk anything about it or build a hype, because I see a lot of brands do that. They announce way beforehand, promise of something you can pre-order, and and a product doesn't show up in like 6 months, which is like, people don't like that. People want instant purchase. That's people have no attention span anymore. So the idea with launching solar guitars is that, like, it was a very big risk, but we ordered guitars before we even knew if we were going to sell them or not. So we had a basic stock of like 300 guitars. Had no idea we would sell 5 guitars or 100 guitars, no idea. But it was a risk that I was willing to take, because I think it's so important that when you launch, you're going to be able to have guitars sent immediately. That was the goal that I had. So when we launched, people could buy the guitars, they would receive them the next week. And I think that was like it cannot have gone better as a release for us. And people really like responded. They bought guitars, and we sold out. So it was amazing response, and I think that really paid off that strategy. And it's the same now as well. We still do pre-orders, but now last week we launched Poplar Burl guitars, and they're arriving early October, so like 2 weeks before the product gets shipped to a customer. So it's very close. I don't like have the longer span, because that makes people angry.
Yeah.
And
I don't like to wait.
yeah. So there you go. That's at least how I like to, the strategy I like to go for, because I think people are like that. They want stuff now, because people want music now. They go to Spotify and search, and they get it now. They want products now. They go to Thomann or whatever. Okay, they have it in stock. Buy, and it's there 3 days later. That's how people consume nowadays.
Yeah, they just buy it.
Yep.
Yeah. So you changed like 3 times monitors. Like the first time was a Behringer Truth, and then Yamaha's, and then Dynozio. So like you were in each case, you said like, oh, I don't need anything else, but then you changed. So
yeah. Well, the thing is that I'm not that big on monitors, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people go into extreme nerdery when it comes to monitors and perfect monitor. I'm very easy adaptable, so I listen to the monitors. Oh, this sounds good. And then after 2 weeks, I've learned the monitors and like how to mix them. So I don't really think that it's so important that you have it's obviously important to have a good monitor, but it does not matter which one. You just find the one that you think is probably the most enjoyable to listen to. Like, listen to your favorite music through the monitors, and if you enjoy the feeling, and if you think it sounds good, they are the monitors for you. And sometimes, like the Behringer ones, excellent monitors for a really good price. And then what was the Yamaha? Yeah, same thing.
That's the one
I just bought them, and I like them better than the Behringer, and now I'm used to them, so I sold the Behringer. And then Audio were like, hey man, want to try out our lid 8s? Oh, like, okay, fine. It's like, it's like I could probably go back to the Yamaha or the Behringer. It doesn't matter. But it's like, okay, I like these now. So it's it's like it's not like I prefer, or like I say that anything is the best. I would probably find something better, but right now I don't really. I've always, when I was starting out, I was mixing at these small computer speakers.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah.
You just have to learn the setup that you're in right now. It's gonna, and you can do a lot with that.
Yeah. So in FAQ58, I understand what In Flames is doing in their latest album, and there's patterns like with a new Bullet for Maryland album, and Trivium Silence in the Snow. Like I'm gonna put my opinion out there, but it's like more accessible.
Yes.
So what do you mean by that? And
because I understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said earlier, you become older, become more mature, and you fall back on a simpler kind of type of music, I think, or like I think that's what In Flames have done.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've sold out.
No.
I just think that that's just them evolving as people. That's a natural evolvement, and eventually they'll probably sound like country.
Yeah.
Like the Behemoth singer. I have no idea, but it's not like, I don't think they make the music to become more accessible. It's just a stupid term, sellouts, because I just think that's the way they are right now.
Yeah.
And I think that people, I mean, if you compare it to 20 years ago, when In Flames were playing almost black and death metal, 20 years is a lot of years.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get sick of death metal. I do that as well. So that's just how it is. It's so that's why I said I understand what they're doing.
Nice. So that's for my friend in Sherbrooke,
Okay, cool.
Canada. Do you know EMIL WERSTLER from his band DAATH?
Yes, I do not know him personally.
Yeah.
I know about him. He's a sick-ass guitar player. He has an excellent solo album, and but I do know Kevin Talley, that he played a lot of drums with in DAATH and in CHIMAIRA, and so I feel like I know him, but I haven't met him, and he probably does not know about me because I'm just an asshole. I'm just a small little guy on YouTube.
So why did you upgrade your headphones? Something very small that I noticed, but
DT770. I think it might have been because I lost my headphones that I upgraded my headphones. I had the 880s, right?
Yeah.
I had the DT880s, and I bought the DT7070. I have no idea why. I just like BeyerDynamic headphones. They sound really good. I like them a lot more than the standard AKG that a lot of people use. I don't know. I don't know. It's like people ask me what the reason is why I change stuff. It's usually like the most stupid stuff. It's because I lost them or stuff like that.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Is your wife a good cook? And what does she cook best?
My wife is a good cook. She's yeah, okay. She's asking if my wife is a good chef.
Yeah.
No, she's not. I'm a way better chef than she is. And usually I'm cooking the most meals at home for my kids and all that. So I'm a way better chef than my wife. And a way better cook than my wife too. That was it. That's all the questions. There's a lot of questions. I liked it, but it's a nice time. I like doing this. It was a good time.
Thanks.
Very nice to meet you, Martin, and safe travel home.
Thanks.
And I'll see you next time. This is a special FAQ. Capture. It's my stupid camera, so I have no idea what it's doing. But yeah, there it is. Okay. So there you go. What do you think about that? Probably the most sincere and honest FAQ to date. It was actually a lot of fun of meeting Martin, and maybe I can do something like this again at some point. Also, I would like to extend as big as possible of a thank you to Martin for showing such commitment in this. I hope you had a good, safe flight back home to Montreal, and I hope to see you soon, okay? If you want to have your questions answered in the next FAQ, put them in the comment section of this video. Just make sure it's a good question, okay? Also, make sure you're still subscribed to my channel down there. You never know with YouTube. I mean, they just go by their own rules. And also click that bell as well to get notified when I upload a video so you don't miss out. Become a member if you want. It's awesome. It's behind the scenes, extra lessons, extra stuff basically. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and see you next Sunday maybe, or Tuesday, I don't know. See you, bye. Oh, let me do one of these.